How you doing, folks? Today we're going to show you how to do a 2-gang box, 2 single switches. These are just single pole switches. In this video is what I'm going to be wiring up for. Now you might have this for 2 separate lights, whatever your situation is. The situation we're dealing with here is in the kitchen, and one of our switches is going to go to the garbage disposal, and the other switch is going to go up to the kitchen sink can light, which is right up here above us. So that's what we're wiring for today. So let me go ahead and show you how to do it. And let me just show you kind of what we have in a box. Inside of this box there's 4 12-2 wires, and what we have is we've got 1 wire going to the garbage disposal. We've got 1 wire coming in from the panel, the home run, this one right here. We got 1 wire going up to the can light, that's this wire, and we have another wire that just happens to be feeding out into another receptacle right here. So that's what we have here in this box. And here's how you go ahead and start making this up. So get your wires kind of back in the box as far as you can here. But you still want your Romex to be in the box. Pull all of your whites and blacks up to where you have all the grounds down like this. Okay? Get them all down just like that. And then I have a pair of linemen's here. You might have to go buy a pair of these, find something, but I don't really know of anything else that'll probably work like these to be able to do this. But when you're twisting more than 2 wires, you really have to have a pair of linemen's or a tool like this. So you just grab it right here like this, not on this side because there's a cutter on one side, so you want to grab it at an angle where the side's open. You know, about halfway down the wires, you just grip onto them and then you just spin. And as you can see, the grounds are all twisting together here, making a good connection. So right there's, we got a good spin on those, and we only need 2 of these wires. So what we're going to do is go ahead and cut 2 of them off. And I'm just going to kind of spin these a little bit tighter here. Then I'm going to take this ground crimp right here. They also sell green wire nuts that work for the grounds. You could use one of those. But I'm just going to use this crimp today to hold this ground tight so it doesn't come undone. And that is code to have a crimp. And then you're just going to push it right back in the box, just like that. Let's get it back in there as far as you can. Now, try to get these wires pulled up as far as you can, but where the yellow part of the Romex is still inside of the box. Okay. Now the next thing here is pretty simple here, really easy. You'll be able to do this. You just lift all the blacks up and pull all of the whites down. Now all of these whites are going to be neutrals. This is pretty simple because these are just 2 single pole switches. So we're not doing anything out of the ordinary here. So all you want to do is take all of your whites in all 4 wires. Maybe you have 3 wires if you're not going to be feeding over to another plug. Still the same thing. Take all 3 wires. Just cut them down. Get your strippers out here and go ahead and strip those out. And this is number 12. Just kind of watch your strippers and make sure you're getting it with the right size. I've got 12 wire here because I'm in the kitchen and it's code to have 12, so I have to use number 12 right now. You just don't want to strip it with the smaller size, because if you hit the bigger wire here with the smaller stripper, like a 14 or a 16, you can damage the wire when you go to strip it. So there we go. We've got all of our neutrals stripped back. you know, about a 3/4 of an inch or so. And then you just kind of get them all bunched together there where they're even. Take your linemen's again and then just go ahead and twist those together just like that. See that? Just go ahead and twist them. Twist together and then just trim the end of it off right there. And because this wire is a little bit bigger, what I have today, I have tan wire nuts and I have red wire nuts. The tans will usually work, but this is a little bit bigger because I've got 4 number 12, so I'm going to use the red wire nut, which is a bigger wire nut. Look, it's going to work a little bit easier for me. Okay, and then you get that wire nut on there and just push your neutrals back in, just like that. Get it back in there as far as you can. Now, we've got the grounds and we got the neutrals complete. And the next thing we want to do here with these 4 black wires we have left is just go back and identify what they are so we know what we're working with. That's why I've marked them here on the wire, so I can go back easy and know which wire is which. So the ones you're going to want to look for first is your hot feed, if you have a hot feed, and your hot coming from the panel, which for me, that is this wire right here. Okay, so this is my hot coming from the panel and this is the feed going out to my other box. So I just want to take those two, strip those back, and then I'm going to take this piece of wire that I cut off of, you know, another short piece of the 12, and I'm going to cut it in half because I want to pigtail 2 more wires. I'm going to need 2 hot wires, okay, to complete this for each switch. I need 1 hot wire for each switch in the end. So what I'm going to do here is take 2 wires there and cut them and strip them like that, and then go ahead and strip my hot from the panel and my hot feed right there. And then what I call this is basically just pigtailing. So we're pigtailing 2 more wires to these so that I'm able to use them for the switch. So grab the linemen's back out and push those together just like we did with the neutrals. Get them all even. Go ahead and grab your linemen's and just spin them together just like that. And cut the end off. And then I'm going to go ahead and use another red wire nut on these because it just makes it easier to get on there. So now I've got my hot to the feed that goes to my plug, so this will be live now when the power is turned on. We obviously don't want the power on now while you're working on it. You know, make sure your power is turned off before you work on the electrical. And now these 2 lines right here that I just wire nutted together, they'll be hot as well because I've pigtailed them to the hot going back to the panel. And you just push that back in there. And now this is what we've got. If we look here, we've got the switch going down to the garbage disposal. I'm just going to go ahead and push the grounds back in here, get them out of the way. So we've got the switch going to the garbage disposal and the switch going up to the can light above the sink. So those 2 go together and those 2 go together on the switch. So here's putting on one of the single pole switches. I'll demonstrate to you and show you how to put the single pole switch on. It's really easy. Now that we've got our hot wire and we've got our switch legs for our light or our garbage disposal in this case, or whatever it is. So there's one set and here's another set with the ground. So you go ahead, strip them back. Get this one a little bit more, and then you got a hole in your strippers right there, And you just stick them down on the end of the wire like that, and then just go ahead and make a turn just like that. Not all the way, just so you've got a nice turn on them. Just like that. Do that with your ground too. Okay. Now here's your switch ground screws, the green screw right there. Just go ahead and toss that on there. Grab a Phillips screwdriver. Just spin that down tight. There we go. And now we just spin it around here and we've got 2 gold screws. Now on this type of switch, this is just a single throw switch. So it doesn't matter where we put the hot wire or our switch leg wire on either of these screws. Now there are some switches, depending on what kind of switch you get, some certain single pole switches, it does matter where you put them. So you know, if you buy some kind of a fancy switch, maybe a switch that's got like a night light in it or something like that, sometimes they do. You might want to look on the back and make sure it doesn't tell you that the hot goes on on the bottom or the top or whatever it is, okay? But this switch here, it doesn't matter. So we're just going to go ahead and hook one there on the bottom. That's our hot wire. Tighten that down. And the top here is our switch leg for our can light. And now we're wired. Once we turn the power on, we're wired up and we're ready. You obviously want to push the switch back in here and screw it down into your box here, your 2 box screws. When everything's complete, you've got your drywall on and all of that, you know, you'll be able to push that back in there, screw it down, and now you have a switch for your light and you have a switch for your garbage disposal, and it's that easy. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot. Hope this helped you out. Have a great day.